Hi, this video includes my summary and commentary on section 32 of Nietzsche's Beyond Good and Evil, followed by the text of section 32. Section 32 comes from part 2 of the work titled The Free Spirit. Here we go.
In section 32 of Beyond Good and Evil, Nietzsche discusses the 3 stages of social morality. The first stage is the premoral stage. This is the stage that characterizes prehistorical man, cavemen and hunter-gatherers and the like. In this system of moral thinking, the value of an action is determined by its consequences, so the action itself and the intention behind the action is irrelevant to its moral worth. This is a pre-philosophical way of thinking about the value of actions and involves no attempt at self-knowledge. It is psychologically very primitive. Nietzsche writes, "The retroactive force of success or failure is what led men to think well or ill of an action." So we might think, for example, that a particular tactic in hunting might be regarded as good by primitive man because it leads to a greater amount of food available for the clan or for the tribe. The success in bringing food is what causes them then retroactively to value the skill at hunting, which led to that increased food supply. The second stage of human morality is the moral stage. This is the stage that has arisen as man has become civilized over the last 10,000 years or so. It has been a gradual process taking place step by step in some regions of the earth, most especially Europe. In this system of moral thinking, the value of an action is determined by its origin, not by its consequences. Nietzsche observes that this is a kind of psychological progress for the human race. It involves greater refinement, greater subtlety of vision, and it constitutes the first reversal of values and the first attempt at self-knowledge and psychological insight by human beings. But in the modern period, certainly, this has led to superstition, the origin of an action being reduced to its intention alone. Here, I think Nietzsche is obviously thinking of Kant and Kantian ethics. This prejudice of intention-based ethics is what dominates moral discourse to the present day. The third stage of social morality is the extramoral or the post-moral stage. Nietzsche says we are now at the threshold of a new reversal in values, a new progress to a higher stage of refinement and subtlety in the human spirit. In this new era, the value of an action will be determined by what is unintentional in it, that is, by the drives, the psychological drives deep beneath it, or by the will to power. The conscious intention will be irrelevant in this mode of valuing because it represents the surface or skin of the action only and is not a source of its worth. Intention, says Nietzsche, is merely a sign requiring interpretation. The sign has no meaning in itself. And the morality of intention, thinking here again of Kant, is a philosophical prejudice. It is something like alchemy or astrology, and most crucially for Nietzsche, it is something to be overcome. And this is what constitutes the long, secret work of the group that Nietzsche refers to as we immoralists. During the longest part of human history, so-called prehistorical times, the value or disvalue of an action was derived from its consequences. The action itself was considered as little as its origin. It was rather the way a distinction or disgrace still reaches back today from a child to its parents in China. It was the retroactive force of success or failure that led men to think well or ill of an action. Let us call this period the pre-moral period of mankind. The imperative "know thyself" was as yet unknown. In the last 10,000 years, however, one has reached the point, step by step, in a few large regions of the earth, where it is no longer the consequences, but the origin of an action that one allows to decide its value. On the whole, this is a great event which involves a considerable refinement of vision and standards. It is the unconscious after-effect of the rule of aristocratic values and the faith in descent, the sign of a period that one may call moral in the narrower sense. It involves the first attempt at self-knowledge. Instead of the consequences, the origin, indeed a reversal of perspective. Surely a reversal achieved only after long struggles and vacillations. To be sure, a calamitous new superstition, an odd narrowness of interpretation, thus become dominant. The origin of an action was interpreted in the most definite sense as origin in an intention. One came to agree that the value of an action lay in the value of the intention. The intention as the whole origin and prehistory of an action. Almost to the present day, this prejudice dominated moral praise, blame, judgment, and philosophy on earth. But today, shouldn't we have reached the necessity of once more resolving on a reversal and fundamental shift in values, owing to another self-examination of man, another growth in profundity? Don't we stand at the threshold of a period which should be designated negatively to begin with as extramoral? After all, today at least, we immoralists have the suspicion that the decisive value of an action lies precisely in what is unintentional in it. While everything about it that is intentional, everything about it that can be seen, known, conscious, still belongs to its surface and skin, which, like every skin, betrays something but conceals even more. In short, we believe that the intention is merely a sign and symptom that still requires interpretation. Moreover, a sign that means too much, and therefore taken by itself alone, almost nothing. We believe that morality in the traditional sense, the morality of intentions, was a prejudice, precipitate and perhaps provisional, something on the order of astrology and alchemy, but in any case something that must be overcome. The overcoming of morality, in a certain sense even the self-overcoming of morality, let this be the name for that long secret work which has been saved up for the finest and most honest, also the most malicious, consciences of today, as living touchstones of the soul.